Hello all, myself is Dr. Mote Ramraja, Assistant Professor from the Department of English, Suvarnalata Gandhi Mahavidyalaya, Vairag. Today I am going to speak on the novel To Sir with Love by R Braithwaite. R Braithwaite is British American novelist. He is born on 28th June 1912. His main concern is racial discrimination. The present novel, To Sir with Love, is published in 1959, and the main theme of this novel is also racial discrimination. The novel has 22 chapters. Let's discuss brief story of the novel. The novel begins with the theme of racial discrimination, that is, the protagonist of the novel, Ricardo Braithwaite, is traveling from Brentwood to London's East End to join as a teacher in Greenslade Secondary School. In the traveling in a double-decker bus, there are women co-passengers, and one of the women passengers refused to sit next to Braithwaite only because he is a black person or a Negro. Then the novel shifts towards the school, that is Greenslade Secondary School. Ricardo Braithwaite is welcomed by the headmaster, Mr. Alex Florin, in the school. And Braithwaite says that I am going to join this school. Alex Florin suggested to Ricardo that let's see the school, see the environment, see the students, and after the lunch, you can decide whether you want to stay in the school or not. And Ricardo is going to observe the school. As he is walking through the corridor, some of the students struck him. When he enters one of the classes, he finds the students making too much noise. The students do not have any kind of manners, etiquettes. And the classroom is also not well organized. The benches in the class are not in rows and columns. Ricardo was shocked. And student considers this elderly person is going to replace old hack. Old hack means Mr. Hackman. Mr. Hackman was the former teacher of that class, and he resigned the class only because the mischievous behavior of the students. Then Ricardo meets to the other teachers, and he finds that the teachers are not that much enthusiastic, or they have the negative perspectives regarding the students and the school. But however, Ricardo had made the decision that he wants to join the school, and he informs to Alex Florin that he is going to join the school. And Alex Florin, the headmaster, gives the duty to Ricardo to the top class, that is a senior class of the school. And then story shifts to a flashback. That is, Ricardo was in Royal Air Force, that is RAF. And after the World War II in 1945, this RAF was demobilized, and Ricardo has to leave the job. And then Ricardo, in search of a job, he was very sure that he will get the job. Why? Because he was well educated and well experienced. He worked as a social engineer, so if He thinks that he will get the job very easily. But the things were happened different. He is searching the job. He applied for certain places. He applied for the job in certain places, and from the 3 firms he got the interview call. And in the first interview, he has a different kind of experience. When he reached to the interview, the receptionist treated Braithwaite differently. Why? Because she thinks that Braithwaite is a white person. Why? According to the name, Braithwaite is a white person. But in reality, Braithwaite was a Negro. In the interview also, Braithwaite answered all the questions in the interview very expertly. And he was very sure he will get the job. But unfortunately, he is rejected only on the grounds that he is a Negro. It is said that on the higher authority, they cannot appoint Braithwaite. Why? Because other workers will work under the Braithwaite, and it is not convenient that a Negro is on higher authority and all the white people are working under him. So Braithwaite becomes very disappointed. And he informs to the other 2 firms that I am a Negro, and if you don't have any problem to appoint the Negro, then and then only you can call me for the interview. And when these 2 firms comes to know that Braithwaite is a Negro, both the firms inform the Braithwaite that the post is already filled. So the novel, throughout the novel, we can find the theme of racial discrimination. Then again, the story shifts to Greenslade Secondary School. The first day of Greenslade Secondary School is not good for Braithwaite. Braithwaite comes early in the morning in the school, and he finds that the students use foul language. Braithwaite started his class with reading skills, and surprisingly, he finds that the students are not able to read their own language. The students wants to check their math skills, and he asked for the students for the table of weight. But nobody was giving the answer. There is only one student, that was Dick Jackson, who is smoking, but he gave the correct answer, and that was the ray of hope for Braithwaite that students can change their behavior. Then Braithwaite introspect, and Braithwaite finds that his relationship with the student is in 3 stages. The first stage is the silent zone. In that stage, he finds that whatever the instructions Braithwaite is giving, students are following these instructions silently, and that is not expected for a Braithwaite. And the second stage is the noisy stage, where Braithwaite gives too much freedom to the students, and students are making only the noise, and there is no any kind of output from it. And Braithwaite does not accept it also. And the third stage, that students always use the foul language in the school or in the class. Braithwaite wants to change it. So he started to read books on psychology, but it does not help. And Braithwaite is in search how to change the behavior of the students. And then Braithwaite gives certain instructions to the students, and he explains his future plans for the students. He says that his students should listen him carefully. He says that listening is the main skill of learning. And if the students have any doubts, queries, they can ask these doubts, queries after the completion of the teacher. He says that he is a teacher and his main concern is teaching, and he will try his best to teach to the students. The third thing he says that all the students should respect to each other. And here he says that male male students should address to each other with their surname, or female teacher with address with Miss. For example, if Pamela there is there a female student, they can call Miss Pamela. It's a kind of a manner, a kind of etiquette Braithwaite wanted to observe from the students. And students accept this. Then Braithwaite does the another change, and that is he appointed two male leaders. These are Potter and Den of the class. And there is one female leader, that is Miss Joseph. So here we can find that with well organized and with some experiments, Braithwaite is trying to change the behavior of his students. And in the school, there is every Friday of the week, there is a weekly review. And Braithwaite is very eager to know how the students think about himself in that review. In the weekly review, students can write anything about the teacher. Even students can criticize to the teacher, not only the teacher, but the headmaster also. And in the first review, there was not too much written about Braithwaite. The students only refers the existence of a black teacher in the school. And Braithwaite was disappointed. Then the story shifts to Braithwaite's teaching experiments. Braithwaite finds that the students are not bad, but they have to handle in different way. Why? Because students come from different backgrounds. So here we can understand that one teacher can make their teaching through the observation, and Braithwaite doing the same thing. Then we have the experience that in a class, Braithwaite is teaching a geography lesson. And Dick Jackson, one of the students, asks to Braithwaite about a woman on the magazine, or about the photo of the woman on the magazine on which she is not wearing the clothes. And here Braithwaite explains to the students different cultures, how there is different methods of wearing the clothes. And then he decided, why don't we visit the exhibition to know the culture or different cultures, and they plan to visit the museum. Braithwaite got the permission from Alex Florin, that is the headmaster, and on the next Thursday they plan to go there with another female teacher, Gillian Blanchard. Gillian Blanchard is also newly appointed teacher, just 3 days senior to Braithwaite. And on Thursday, Braithwaite is surprised. All the students come neatly dressed, and they come with the preparation to visit the museum. They formed the groups, they discussed on various topics, and when they were returning at that time, Braithwaite find that there are endless discussions. And on the coming Friday, in weekly review, all the students mention their experience, different experience of that learning to visit a museum. Here we can understand that education cannot take place in 4 hours or in the class. And Florin is also very happy with the experiment made by Braithwaite. There is another aspect of the novel, that is a love that is love between Gillian Blanchard and Braithwaite. Gillian Blanchard is a white woman and Braithwaite is a Negro, and it is not accepted in England a white woman loves to Negro. So when on the occasion of the birthday, Braithwaite and Gillian visited one restaurant, and in that restaurant, all the waiters neglected to this couple. Why? Because one black person is with one white woman. And Gillian become very angry. Why Braithwaite does not protest this kind of a situation? And Braithwaite says that this situation happens in his life frequently. And situation happen only because she is with him. She is a white and he's black. So here we can understand that the parents of Gillian were not agree for the proposal of the marriage of Gillian and Ricardo. But they don't want to disappoint their daughter, and that's why they are ready for the marriage of Ricardo and Braithwaite. This is one aspect, and there is another aspect, that is the Pamela Dare. Pamela Dare is a very beautiful woman in the class of Braithwaite. She attracts towards him, but Braithwaite has a fatherly love to her. So, with this, the novel has 3 experiments or experiences of a teacher with the students, or the relationship of a teacher with the students. The first relationship of the teacher with student is Pamela Dare. Braithwaite observes that Pamela Dare is quite disturbed in these days, but he don't ask her what happened in her life. But one day her mother visited to the school, and she informs that Pamela Dare spent night outside and she comes late in the house, and it is only Braithwaite can give instructions to her. Alex Florin called Braithwaite, and Braithwaite says that it is the duty of her father. He can suggest certain things to her, but Pamela's mother said Pamela's father was died in Air Force. So Braithwaite has the only right to give instructions to her. And finally Braithwaite agrees, and Braithwaite gives instructions to Pamela that she should not behave such with her mother. Pamela says that she and her mother are friends, but since the last holidays, she does not like her mother. Why? Because after the death of her father, her mother is in search of other men. And if you want more information, you should visit my house and you should speak to my mother. Braithwaite agreed, and Braithwaite visited to her house and he speak to her mother. And her mother says that one incident happened when she was with man. Pamela visited the house, and from that incident she neglects her. So Braithwaite suggests to Pamela that she should not behave in such way with her mother. She should accept her mother, and Pamela agrees to do that. There is another incident narrated by the novelist in the novel which shows the relationship between student and teacher. That is, there is one student, and name of the student was Patrick Herman. Patrick Herman was arrested by the police on the charge that he injured to the another student with knife. And Mr. Alex Florin called Braithwaite and suggested to make the report on the behavior of Patrick. And Alex Florin has made the report, and even he was present in the court in that particular case. In that court also, Braithwaite suggests that this behavior of the student, that is Patrick, is not violent, and he prepared the report. He suggests that report. He gave that report to the magistrate, and magistrate blamed the school for such behavior of the student. However, Patrick got released from that case, and with the help of a record of Braithwaite, that is Patrick, is saved, and Patrick again joined the school and joined the classes. There is third experience discussed by the novelist R Braithwaite, and that was Larry Sale's experience. Larry Sale's mother was tried, and Larry Sale is a black student, so nobody wanted to attend the funeral of his mother. Why? Because only the reason that he is a black. So this novel suggests that black people are harassed by these white people. And this is the main concern of the novel. Then the story proceeds, and in the novel we find that Braithwaite making certain experiments, and he is getting the results of these experiments. Even Braithwaite takes his students to the drama or opera or theaters, and he explains them a different kind of ways of learning. The students enjoys that. They get information from different sources, and students love to learn. They get interest to learn. They get interest in a school. They get interest in a class. And here we can understand that slowly but steadily, students change their attitude and they become much interested in learning. And here is the success of the teacher, that is Braithwaite. Then comes to at the end part of. So at the end, there is a campus interview, and so many students get selected in a campus, or they get different kind of jobs. Braithwaite is very happy, and some of the students, they are determined to do better than this. The novel ends with one Christmas party. The Christmas party was arranged by the senior students in the school. And in that party, all the teachers were participated. Gillian Blanchard, Pamela Dare, a student, Alex Florin, even all the teachers are participated in that. And Pamela Dare, a student, a beautiful student, requests Braithwaite to dance with her. Here, Gillian become jealous regarding Pamela Dare. Why? Because she is so beautiful. But finally, Braithwaite danced with Pamela, and all the teachers are looking at it, and all the students are very happy. The novel ends. All the students gave a gift to Ricardo Braithwaite, and on that gift package, it was carved to serve with love. And here the novel ends. The novel has certain aspects. Racial discrimination is the major concern. Love, education, poverty, violence, these are some of the main themes of the novel. And novel has number of characters where the students can get confused. So uh, I made a kind of chart so students can understand. So there is a Green Slate Secondary School, and that Green Slate Secondary School has a headmaster, that is Alex Florin, and there are 9 other teachers, including Braithwaite. There are 10 teachers in the school, and there are 12 students mentioned in the school. They are Pamela Dare, Denham, Potter, Dick Jackson, Moria Joseph, Barbara Peck, Patrick Furman, Miss Joseph, Miss Peg, Sapino, Ricard Buckley, Larry Sales. And all these students has one or the another experience. Even Miss Peg is also has one experience. Ricard Braithwaite wanted to stay near to the school, and he is in search of a lodging, or he is in search of room, and he asked for a tobacconist shop that he get the room, and he took Braithwaite to Mrs. Peg, and Mrs. Peg was a smiling woman, but when she sees Ricardo Braithwaite is black, her smile vanished, and she rejected to offer the room. But Miss Peg is one of the students of Ricardo. Miss Peg says that he is my teacher. Still, there is no change in the mind of Mrs. Peg. And finally, Miss Peg become very disappointed, and because of Miss Peg, Mrs. Peg is ready to offer the room, but Braithwaite very kindly, politely rejected that idea. So we can find racial discrimination throughout the novel. So the novel is worth to read. I recommend all the students and even the teachers read this novel at least once, so we can get so many experiences through which we can change our behavior, change our life. Thank you very much.